Alright guys, welcome back. In this video here, we're going to talk about what's the relationship between the slope and parallel lines and perpendicular lines. So far we discussed, the previous video we discussed special lines in the slope. Those are the vertical lines and horizontal lines. In this video we're going to discuss parallel lines and perpendicular lines. Okay, so we're going to say, alright, so parallel lines and slope, this slope. Okay, so if I draw two lines on the same axis, same set of axes, let's say I have this first line there, and then I have another line that is parallel to this one. So let's say if I draw another line that's somewhat parallel, the best I can, right? So looks like that. So notice that if these two lines are parallel, notice that the steepness of these two lines are almost identical, right? So meaning they have the same rise over run. So in this case here we say that parallel lines have the same slopes. Okay. So the way we can show two lines are parallel by looking at the slope without graphing them is solve for the slope-intercept form. So let's say if we have an example, I want to say, let's say we have 3x plus 5y equal to 2. So that equation could be any line. If when we graph it, let's say we have another one, let's say 4x plus 8y equal to 7, right? So we have these two lines here. If we graph them, they may look a certain way, but let's say we don't want to graph them. We just want to see, are these guys, are these two lines parallels, right? Are these lines, parallel? Okay. Well, to answer that question, we look at the slope, right? So let's say call it line 1, line 2. We can say line 1, we can figure out what the slope of that by solving for y. So let's say we have 5y minus 3x plus 2 by subtracting 3x to the other side. Divide by 5, we get y equal to negative 3/5 x plus 2/5, right? We just divide that by 5. Divide by 5, right? So now it's in slope-intercept form, so we say this is the slope there. So this line has an m of negative 3/5. Now if I solve the same thing for line 2, and if line 2 have the same slope, then we can say these two lines are parallel. So let's find out. 4x plus 8y equals 7. Subtract 4x to the other side, we get negative 4x there plus 7. Divide by 8, both sides. Okay, so that will give us y equal to negative 1/2 x plus 7 over 8. So the slope in this case is negative 1/2. Okay, so m is negative 1/2. So no, they're not parallel because the slopes are not the same. So we say, we say that these lines are not parallel because they have different slope. Okay, all right. Moving on to perpendicular lines. So down here, we say perpendicular lines and the slopes. Okay. So what do I mean by perpendicular lines? So if I draw two lines in the same set of axes, so we say we have this line like this, okay? And for a line to be perpendicular to this one, it's going to intersect this line at exactly 90-degree angle, okay? So something like that, okay? 90 degree. So we're saying in this case, the two lines are perpendicular, okay? And if two lines are perpendicular, the slopes are not the same, as you see the difference there. So we can say perpendicular lines have their slopes negative reciprocal of each other. Okay. All right. So that means if we have let's say this is line 1, this is line 2. So let's call line 1 with the M1 is, let's say that looks like 2/3. So let's say if M1 slope for line 1 is 2/3 for the slope, then if line 2 is perpendicular, then M2 or slope for the line 2 is going to be negative reciprocal of that. So it's going to be negative, and then reciprocal of that is going to be just 3/2. Okay. And notice that if we times these two slopes together, we get -1. Okay, so this is just a side note there. Right, so 2 times -3/2 equal -1. Okay, so perpendicular lines have their slopes negative reciprocal, or the product of their slopes equal to -1. Okay. So when you ask to show if two lines are perpendicular parallels, you just solve for the slope intercept form as we did here, and then just extract the slope and compare them. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is example how to find equation of a line through 2 points first before we look at actually question pass through point. Yeah, let's do this example. Okay, I'm gonna save the other example when you do the homework and come back ask on Zoom. Okay. So this one's saying that given equation, this equation could look any way. I mean, if we graph it, it's gonna look at some sort of way. We want to find the equation, an equation that passes through this point, and also parallel to this given line. So that's part A. And part B, we want to find the equation line that passes through the same point, but perpendicular to the given line. Okay. So let me just kind of sketch this given line real quick here. So given line. Okay. So I guess in order for us to sketch this, perhaps we can do a separate way. We can solve for this in slope intercept form. So let's solve for slope intercept form. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. 3x minus 2y equal to 6. So that means -2y equal to -3x plus 6. Now we can divide by -2. So that gave us 3/2 for x and -3. All right, divide by -2 would give us that result. -3 divided by -2 is 3/2. 6 divided by -2 is -3. So now it's in slope intercept form. So now our m here is given m is 3/2, and then b is -3. So now we can graph this given line. Okay. So given line, we can graph that. We say, all right, so that's going to be, this. We're going to go down 3 for the y-intercept. Okay, and then the slope is 3/2. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay. So said this is the given line. All right. So that's the given line. Okay. So that equation is 3x minus 2y equals 6. So that's the given line. So in this problem, we asked to find two equations. Let's start with part A first. Part A is asking find the equation of a line that passes through the point -1, 2. So let's do that. -1, 2 is here. Okay. We want to find an equation of a line that passes through this here. Let's do red. Why not? Passes through this point there. And parallel to pass through this point and parallel to this line here. Okay, so that's part A. Part B, we want to find another equation of a line that passes through the same point but perpendicular to the purple line, the given line. So let's say, if I want to draw a line that goes this point perpendicular to that. Is this perpendicular? Not quite. There it is. No, this is a little more perpendicular, so I want to redraw this. So, oh, there you go. Something like that. Okay. So now, we're supposed to find this equation for the green and the red one. So that's what A and B is asking for. Okay. So let's do this. All right. Purple. Okay, so we're going to say A. Okay, so A, we want to find the equation of line that passes through this point, -1 and comma 2, that is parallel to the given line. So the line that is parallel to the given line will have the same slope. So parallel line has the same slope. So we say now the parallel slope is equal to 3/2. Okay, and then the point we're given that the line passed through is -1/2. Okay, all right, so let's do it. So to find this equation, right, is going to be, we can use the y equal to mx plus b form. That's the slope intercept form. Okay, and then we're going to plug in the slope, plug in the point. Okay, so we got the slope is 3/2 because it's parallel to the given line, and then the point we're looking at is -1 and 2. So we said, all right, so 2 for y, m is 3/2, x is -1, b, we have to find that, so 2 equal -3/2 plus b, add the 3/2 the other side, so 2 plus 3/2, that's going to be for 7/2, so 7/2 is equal to b. Okay, so now our equation is y equal 3/2 for the slope plus 7/2. Okay, so that's the equation for parallel lines. So parallel lines. Okay, so that red line here will have equation of y equal 3/2 x plus 7/2. Okay, all right, so that's part A. Part B, we want to find the perpendicular lines. Okay, so we know that perpendicular line has the negative reciprocal slope to the given line. Okay, so we know that the given slope is 3/2. So now the negative reciprocal of that is going to be -2/3. So that's the perpendicular slope. Okay. All right. So now we got the slope, and we are trying to find the equation line through the same points again. So the given points are also the same. So that makes it easier. So we got slope is -2/3. And then point is -1, 2. Okay, so using the mx plus b form again. And let's go ahead and plug in the point and the slope. So we got 2 equals -2/3, x is -1 plus b. So that's 2 equal to 2/3. Plus b, subtract the other side by 2/3 equal to b. So now our b is 6/3 minus 2/3, so we're looking at 4/3. Okay. All right, so now our equation is y equal to -2/3 x plus 4/3 for the y. So that's the perpendicular line. So the one in purple here, so if I write that, it's gonna be, oh no, the one in green, sorry, it's gonna be, the one in green is gonna be y equal -2/3 x plus 4/3. Okay, all right, so hopefully that makes sense. Feel free to ask questions during Zoom meeting.